They said I was too quiet, too soft, too strange, too much, not enough. They told me to wait my turn, told me to be grateful, told me to smile, even when I was bleeding. And I did. God help me, I did. I waited, I begged, I believed. I thought if I just proved myself, they'd let me in. If I just worked harder, they'd see me. If I just stayed patient, the world would open its arms and say, "Welcome, you've earned it," but that door, it never opened. I knocked, they slammed it shut, I screamed, they laughed louder, I gave everything, and they gave me silence. A silence so loud it crushed my ribs, a silence that said, "Know your place," so I learned my place, alone, uninvited, unwanted. Do you know what it's like? To scream so long your voice breaks and still be unheard? Do you know what it's like to bleed in front of them, and they call it a performance? Do you know what it's like to show your scars, and they say, "Get over it"? I do. Because I was there. I was the one in the back of the line, the one they forgot, the one they used, the one they kicked when he was already crawling. They mocked my dreams, mocked my silence, mocked my pain, and I took it. God, I took it, because I thought, maybe they were right. Maybe I wasn't enough. Maybe I had to be smaller to fit in. So I made myself small, tucked my fire beneath my ribs, swallowed every scream. I bent so far I forgot I had bones. I twisted so much I forgot what straight felt like. But here's the truth they never saw coming. I didn't stay down. I didn't die in that dark place. I grew there. They thought the silence would bury me. It did something worse. It rebuilt me, because while they celebrated my silence, I was learning, watching, sharpening. Every no was a blade. Every insult, armor, every betrayal, fuel. I turned every scar into a map, every rejection into a weapon, every laugh into a promise. I will make you remember me. They weren't scared when I cried. They weren't scared when I begged. They weren't scared when I broke. But now? Now they tremble, because I stopped explaining, stopped shrinking, stopped needing them. Now I don't knock, I break the door down. Now I don't wait, I take. Now I don't beg, I command. I am not the quiet one anymore. I am not the soft one. I'm not the one who smiles while bleeding. I am not what they tried to mold me into. I am what they created by trying to destroy me. And it terrifies them because they know what I carry. Because they made it, they built this rage, they carved this hunger, they lit this fire. And now they can't control the blaze. They don't fear the weak. They don't fear the broken. They fear the reborn. The ones who stopped asking for permission. The ones who stopped playing nice. The ones who crawled through hell and came back, laughing. They didn't fear me when I was on my knees. They only started shaking when I stood up. So now when they whisper my name, it's not with pity, it's with panic, because I am not their joke anymore. I am not their toy. I am not their victim. I am the reckoning. And every time they see me, they remember what they did, and they realize I remember too. So no, I won't forgive, I won't forget, I won't fold. Not now, not ever, because the boy they ignored, the soul they crushed, the fire they tried to snuff out, he learned something they never expected, that silence isn't weakness. It's loading, it's sharpening, it's waiting for the perfect time to strike, and that time is now. They weren't scared when I was weak. They're scared now because I'm not. I didn't break, I bent, and that saved me. You think that's weakness? Flexing under pressure? No, that's survival, that's evolution, when the knife is already halfway through your spine. See, you thought I'd snap, that I'd shatter like glass, that one more betrayal would be the final blow. You underestimated the shape of my pain because I didn't crumble. I reformed. I bled in silence, swallowed every scream, gritted my teeth, while the world kicked me in the ribs again and again just to hear the sound, and I let them. I let them, not because I was weak, but because I was studying. Every lie, every stab, every moment they smirked while I staggered. I memorized it all. They thought I was dying, but I was mutating. I was soft once, naive, desperate to be loved by people who saw me as disposable. I begged them to see me, to hear me, to believe in me, and when they didn't, I tried harder. That's the tragedy, isn't it? We try to earn love from the very hands that are building our coffin, but no more. Something changed. Not suddenly, not with fire, not with thunder, quietly, like a rope snapping inside the chest, like a voice whispering in your own blood. Get up or die. I got up, but I didn't come back the same. I died, but no one buried me, so I dug myself out. And I came back wrong, not broken, not fragile, just different, sharper, colder, smarter. They wanted me broken. They wanted a corpse they could pity, or a clown they could laugh at. I gave them something worse. Me. Healed, but wrong. The kind of wrong that makes monsters run. The kind of wrong that doesn't ask for justice. It takes vengeance. Look in my eyes now. Do you see sorrow, regret? No. You see silence, stillness. That eerie calm before something horrific happens, because I don't care about making them understand anymore. I'm not here for closure. I'm not here to forgive. I'm not here to heal them. I'm here to remind them. I'm what happens when the victim survives, when the scapegoat grows horns, when the buried crawl out with fire in their lungs. They created me. They fed me suffering. And now they're choking on the consequences. You call me a villain? Fine, because heroes die begging. And I've done enough begging for one lifetime. You call me ruthless? Good, because mercy is a luxury I was never offered. You call me mad? Then call me mad. King. Because I've stopped asking for permission. I've stopped seeking approval. I don't need your understanding. I don't need your pity. I need nothing from you except your silence while I rise. Do you hear it? The shaking? That's not fear in my voice. It's power, controlled, cold, and absolutely unforgiving. I didn't break. I bent, and that bend made me unkillable. Because I learned to warp instead of wither, to shift instead of shatter, to evolve into something they never expected, a threat. So go ahead, tell your stories, warn your armies, sharpen your blades. But understand this, you didn't beat me. You built me. And now, I wear every scar like armor. I walk like a blade unsheathed. I speak like thunder that doesn't need to roar. I don't want peace. I want them to remember that they had a chance. And they burned it, that they tried to bury me. And accidentally crowned me, so call me a villain, but never forget. Now you'll call me king, so you sent an army. Not to win, just to slow me down. That's what fear looks like, isn't it? You didn't build a wall. You didn't open a dialogue. You didn't even offer surrender. You sent 185,000 souls to stall me, not stop me, not defeat me, just slow me down. Do you even hear yourselves? You thought I'd be flattered. You thought I'd be overwhelmed. You thought the numbers would bury me, but I counted them, every single one, 100, 1,000, 10,000. You kept sending more, and I kept walking. They came with swords, with rifles, with prayers. I came with silence. And still. I walked. They screamed orders. I whispered one word. Move. And they did. Not forward. Back. They moved back. Because fear doesn't obey rank. It doesn't salute. It doesn't wait for orders. Fear remembers. And I gave them something unforgettable. You called me unstoppable. Not because I move fast, but because I never stop. You called me unkillable. Not because I dodge bullets, but because I catch them and hand them back. Every time they tried to contain me, I broke the box. Every time they tried to define me, I rewrote the language. Every time they thought they had me, they learned they never even knew me. You sent soldiers. I sent a message. You sent flesh and blood. I sent fury and purpose. You sent the world. I brought the storm. This wasn't a war, it was a delay, a stall tactic, a panic move. You hoped I'd be slowed. You prayed I'd be distracted. You begged the universe to trip me, but I don't trip. I rise over your walls, through your barricades, under your bullets, past your fear. You thought your numbers were strength. But to me, they were just noise, a sea of panic dressed up as discipline. Because no one sends 185,000 against one man. Unless that man is already legend. You saw me bleeding and thought I'd fall. You saw me outnumbered and thought I'd fold. But I was counting something you never understood. Every stare of doubt. 1. Every whispered insult. 2. Every fake smile. Every slammed door. Every silent betrayal. 3, 4, 5 thousands. I was counting pain. And unlike your soldiers, pain never retreats. You call this resistance. I call it recognition. You call this defense. I call it devotion. Because this isn't war. This is worship. You feared me so deeply. You built an army in my name. A monument of trembling bodies and loaded weapons. An altar built of uniforms and orders. And still, I walked. Let me ask you something. If I wasn't already a god to you, why did you pray so hard I'd be stopped? If I was just a man, why? Summon the weight of nations to hold me back. Why does one man need to be buried under 185,000 lives? Because you don't fear the sword. You fear the hand that wields it without mercy. You fear the soul that cannot be bought, broken, or bribed. You fear me, because I do not kneel, I do not halt. I do not break, let them come. Let them march in their lines. Let them chant their lies. Let them hide behind medals and titles and empty commands, because I'm not here for their names. I'm not here for their orders. I'm here for their remembrance, and they will remember every scream, every fall, every breath stolen by fear they could never outrun, because I am not the enemy. I am the answer to every time they asked, what if he doesn't stop? What if he gets back up? What if he becomes something we can't kill? Well, now they know this isn't resistance, it's reverence, and the irony, they'll write books about how brave they were, just for surviving me. They'll call it a victory, because some of them crawled away alive. But deep down they know they didn't beat me, they didn't stop me. They tried to delay a tidal wave with sandbags and prayers. So go ahead, count your numbers, stack your forces, add another 0 if it helps you sleep. But remember this, 185,000, and still shaking. Not because I was coming for them, but because they knew I would never stop. Because this isn't a war, it's a reckoning. And that's not resistance, that's worship. And you don't even realize it. Let them come. Let every coward behind a uniform sharpen their blade. Let every trembling general whisper my name like a curse. Let every army march with trembling feet, because I'm still standing and I'm not running anymore. They wanted to slow me down, contain me, delay the inevitable. But you can't delay a storm. You don't stop fire. You don't pause the apocalypse. You just pray it passes you by. I've seen what fear looks like behind iron walls. I've heard it in the way they shout orders. Desperate, unsteady. Fake confidence hiding real panic. They're not preparing for war. They're preparing for me. Look at them. Tanks lined up. Guns loaded. Choppers in the sky. They think numbers will save them. But I've walked through worse than bullets. I've survived betrayal sharper than steel. I've stood alone while the world turned its back and lit the match. So no, I'm not impressed. Let them scream, let them beg, let them burn, because this is what happens when you corner the wrong soul. This is what happens when you keep pushing someone who already lost everything. I'm not fighting for revenge. Anymore, I'm not fighting for justice. This is recreation. You think I still want peace? You still don't get it. I gave peace a chance. I begged for peace, and all I got was silence, lies, backstabs. So now, I want the war. Let it echo. Let it swallow cities. Let the sky bleed fire. Because I've made peace with chaos. We're old friends now. And every time you draw your weapons against me, you just make me feel home. You could have walked beside me, could have stood shoulder to shoulder. But no, you chose fear. You chose chains. You chose the losing side. And now I don't care how loud you cry. I don't care how noble your reasons sound. You want to stop me? Get in line, right behind the others who tried. Let them chant, let them rally, let them pray. But prayers don't stop what's already been set in motion. Hope doesn't fix what's already on fire, and no army, no kingdom, no goddamn empire can hold back a man with nothing to lose. You say I've gone too far. I say I didn't go far enough. You say I've become a monster. I say I finally stopped pretending to be human. You think this is madness? This is freedom, unfiltered, unforgiven, unleashed. Let them come. Let them come with everything they have. Let them bring their fire. Let them bring their gods. Let them bring their last ounce of hope. I will bury it all in silence. I will make them remember what it feels like to face something unstoppable, something inevitable. I am not here to talk. I'm not here to negotiate. I'm not here to explain myself anymore. I'm here to end it. You thought you could cage me, but all you did was give me something to fight for. You thought I'd break, but all you did was build a beast. Now I don't. Fight to win. I fight because this is what I was born to do, so go ahead. Line the battlefield, sharpen your swords, load your guns, say your final prayers, because I'm coming, and I don't care who stands in my way. Let them come, let them fall. You wanted a villain. You got one. You wanted a monster, you built one. But now you've made something worse. You wanted a monster. You're getting a goddamn war machine. You thought it was over, didn't you? You thought the silence meant I was gone. You thought the dirt would hold me. You thought the weight of your judgment would crush the last breath out of me. You fools, I wasn't buried, I was planted. And now, I've grown into something you can't uproot, something ancient, something inevitable, something you can't even name without your voice shaking. You tried to bury me beneath your lies, your shame, your cowardice dressed up as righteousness. But I fed on it. I ate every insult. I drank every whisper. I slept under the weight of your contempt until it became my armor. You built a grave. I made it a throne, because I am not a man anymore. I am the memory you wish you could forget, the consequence you prayed would never come. You see, you didn't just try to stop me. You tried to erase me. You mocked me. You labeled me. You burned my name in the streets like it meant nothing. But names don't matter when the legend wakes up. I don't cast shadows. I am the eclipse. I don't walk through the fire. I am the reason it burns. Every wound you left on me, I carved into scripture. Every scar etched into prophecy, and now they chant what you tried to silence. Now they kneel to what you tried to kill. I am the venom of every silenced scream. I am the echo of every door you slammed shut. I am the wrath of the forgotten, the rage of the abandoned, the storm you swore would never come. And guess what? It's here now. I am what you tried to bury. I am what rose from beneath your feet while you danced on my grave. You wanted to call me a monster. Fine. Then fear me like one. You wanted to paint me as a villain? Good. Because now I wear that crown like it was always meant to be mine. Villain, say it again. Louder. Scream it into the void and pray it answers gently. Because I won't. I don't need your redemption. I don't want your forgiveness. I don't crave your approval. All I needed and was enough pain to remember who the hell I am. And now, I don't forget. Not a face, not a word, not a betrayal. I remember everything. Every time you laughed, while I bled. Every time you smiled as I broke. Every time you turned your back and called it self-care. So let me make it clear. This isn't your redemption arc, it's my reckoning. You raised a beast, you forged a god, you awoke something older than fear itself. And it doesn't forgive. It doesn't flinch, it doesn't fall. I am not here for your applause. I am here for your reckoning, for your judgment day, for your quiet little empires built on my silence, torn down by my roar. Because now I see it. I see the fear in your eyes, not because I'm wrong, but because I'm right and you can't stop it. Call me villain one more time. Go ahead. I dare you. Because now, I like it. You thought it was over. You thought the smoke would clear and I'd be buried somewhere beneath it. You thought I'd choke on the ashes, but I became the fire. You didn't stop me. You built me. Every lie you told, every knife you hid behind your smile, every wall you threw in my path, all of it carved my name deeper into the earth. You made me unforgettable. You threw me to the wolves, and now I lead the hunt. You wanted silence, but I became the echo that never fades. You wanted submission, but I became the crown forged from every chain you tried to bind me with. You should have buried me deeper. You should have finished the job. But instead, you watched me rise, and now you can't look away. Look at me. Look at what you tried to kill, and tell me it isn't beautiful. They cheered when I fell. They laughed when I bled, and when I stopped. Crawling when I stood, they started whispering, and then they started running. Because the story changed, because the villain didn't stay down, because I wasn't the tragedy, I was the rewrite. You see it now, don't you? The fear wasn't in my hands, it was in my silence. In what you couldn't predict, what you couldn't control, what you couldn't kill. You thought fear would break me, but fear fed me. You poured doubt into my wounds, and I turned it into fuel. Every chain you wrapped around my neck became part of the armor. Every soldier you sent was a drumbeat in my march. You called me too much, too loud, too dangerous. Now watch how quiet it gets when I arrive. Watch how heads bow, watch how lips tremble. Watch how legends are born. Not from peace, but from war. Let them talk. Let them twist the tale. Let them paint me in shadows. It won't matter, because while they gossip, I conquer. While they sleep, I build empires from dust. While they run their mouths, I run the world. They don't need to like me. They don't even need to understand me. They just need to remember. Remember the one they tried to erase and ended up immortalizing. Remember the voice that shook the silence. Remember the name that crawled out of the pit and sat on the throne. You tried to stop me, but you didn't realize something crucial. Legends aren't born from praise. They're born from resistance, from chaos, from betrayal. You didn't build a cage, you built a monument. And now my shadow stretches across your walls. I became the storm you feared. I became the silence after the scream. I became the reason the brave hesitate. You wanted me forgotten? Then why does the ground still tremble when I speak? Why do your hands still shake at the mention of my name? Let them talk. Let them run. Let them remember. Because this is what happens when you try to bury fire. It learns to burn deeper. This is what happens when you try to silence thunder. It waits for the right moment to roar, so send your armies, count your dead. But never forget, you feared me enough to send 185,000, and it still wasn't enough.